Hey friends, you ever read something so absurd it makes your hair stand on end? Because I just did. A Beijing company got punished for writing a Chinese ad on WeChat that the US Capitol reflects the solemnity and authority of American democratic system. That's it. One sentence, and suddenly it's a crime. According to the CCP, praising America's democracy is now against good social customs. Translation: if you wrote the US Capitol reflects the hypocrisy or ugliness of democracy, that would be totally fine. But saying it's sullen and respectful, illegal. Welcome to China, where good customs mean lies, slander, and hating America on command. This case comes from the Beijing Market Regulation Bureau. They investigated a study abroad company called Dayong International, whose big crime was promoting a US summer school tour. And in the ad copy, they dared to write, brace yourself, that the congressional building, the White House, and the Capitol are worth visiting because they symbolize democracy. And the official ruling? This misguided ad copy violated the advertising law of the People's Republic of China. The company is guilty of publishing ads that violate good social customs. So let's be clear. In China, truth is illegal. Saying democracy has authority and is respectful, wrong direction. Saying democracy is fake and ugly, totally patriotic. If this feels like the Cultural Revolution all over again, that's because it is. Although the CCP has been running an anti-American hate campaign for decades. Back in 1950, when China jumped into the Korean War with the US, People's Daily, the Chinese state media, published a piece called How to View America. This article basically launched the Three Attitudes campaign. First, hate America. It's the mortal enemy of the Chinese people. Second, despise America. It's a rotten imperialist empire. And third, scorn America. It's a paper tiger that can be defeated. That campaign shaped an entire generation. America quickly went from wartime ally to enemy of humanity. And the propaganda machine never stopped. Now, why the CCP must hate America? Why is Beijing so allergic to even one nice sentence about America? It's not random. It's not just paranoia. It's survival. There are 5 reasons the CCP has to hate America. Number 1, the mirror problem. America is like a mirror. The moment you admit US democracy works, Chinese people start asking, wait, then why don't we get that? Why don't we get to vote? Why don't we get checks and balances? That question alone is lethal to CCP's legitimacy. So the mirror must be smashed. Number 2, control of the narrative. The CCP runs on monopoly of truth. If people see an alternative system succeed, their propaganda collapses. And that is why they have to paint America as chaotic, decadent, hypocritical. If America looks good, the party looks bad. And number 3, rallying nationalism. Nothing unites a country like a common enemy. When youth unemployment soars, housing collapses, or corruption scandals break out, the CCP screams, "Don't look at us. Look at America. It's even worse." Anti-Americanism is the party's pressure wealth. And then the global competition. Beijing isn't just playing at home, it's trying to sell its model abroad. But who is going to buy this bullshit called socialism with Chinese characteristics if democracy looks more attractive? That's why China has to market America as fake, failing, and corrupt. It's propaganda for export. And finally, the elite hypocrisy. The same leaders who scream, "Down with America," are quietly sending their kids to America. The louder they scream, the more they are covering their tracks. Anti-Americanism is theater, and they are the lead actors. So let's be clear. America isn't just an external rival for Beijing. It's an existential threat. Not because of aircraft carriers or sanctions, but because of ideas. Freedom, democracy, and rule of law are the one thing the CCP can never copy, can't steal, and can't survive next to. And let me tell you, unfortunately, the brainwashing works. Decades of propaganda have convinced tens of millions of Chinese that America is evil. And now we're seeing violent attacks on Americans inside China. That's not random. That's what happens when you pump hate into a society for 70 years. But here's the funny part. While the party tells everyone to hate America, China's elites can't wait to send their kids there. Sima Nan, a professional anti-American warrior active on Chinese social media. His wife and kids live in the US. He bought a property, I think, in Fremont, California. He rants on TV about decadent America while cashing in on American real estate. Ma Nan, the Peking University student who shouted at Bill Clinton in 1998 about America's terrible human rights record. After that infamous incident, she went to study in the US, married a white American, and had mixed race kids. And then writers of the Chinese bestseller titled "China is Unhappy." They stirred up a wave of nationalism in 2009, sold millions of copies, and then emigrated to the US and Canada with their whole family and royalties from the books. The singer Yin Xiumei, famous in China for singing "The Party, Our Dear Mother." She made her fortune and then moved to America and became a US citizen. And of course, the biggest one, Xi Jinping himself, the most anti-American Chinese leader since Mao, sent his only daughter to Harvard. If America is so corrupt and decadent and hopeless, why send your daughter there, Chairman Xi? And this is why the CCP is panicking about these summer schools. Sending kids to US programs is exploding. Berkeley, Yale, UPenn. In many of these summer schools, half the class is now Chinese kids. And parents there see it as a badge of honor, a ticket to a US college later. And these programs cost $15,000 plus a summer. But even with China's economy in free fall, middle class families are scraping together the cash because they know the truth. America still represents opportunity, freedom, and prestige. Meanwhile, the state media shouts China is rising, West declining. But in real life, Chinese elites are storming US summer schools like it's a Black Friday sale. This is the ultimate hypocrisy. A government that punishes a company for writing that America's democracy is sullen and authoritative, while its own leaders ship their children to America's priciest schools. Deng Xiaoping once said, "Every country that followed America got rich." That was one of the few honest things he ever admitted. And deep down, China's elites believe it. That's why they send their kids to the US, even as they preach hate back home to the common people. So the next time you hear about China's good social customs, remember, in CCP speak, that means hating America in public and loving America in private.